Hi, Zoe.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good to see you. Are we good? You think we're
6
safe?
feet.
All right, excellent.
All
Thank you so
right,
much,
thank
Zoe.
you.
I appreciate you making sure we're safe and protected. Welcome, everyone, to our first virtual Breakfast of Champions campaign. 16 years ago, in 2005, we inaugurated our very first amazing event called Breakfast of Champions. And so year after year since then, we have hosted an Olympic athlete and champion to help us support our mission at Peak Vista to provide exceptional health care to those facing access barriers through clinical programs and education. As you can see, this year is going to be just a little bit different. So what we're going to do this year is we'll have a month-long virtual campaign on Facebook. And so there are many ways that you can donate, but before we go any further, I just want you to know that we want you to please go to our website, peakvista.org, click on the Breakfast of Champions button on our homepage, and that's how you can help support our mission and help us do what we do in the communities that we serve. We'll talk a little bit more about BOC. We'll talk about some of the other issues that we've seen arise in the advent of COVID-19 and the pandemic. And we'll also talk some about our mission. So right away, I want to get to our first guest, and I'd like to welcome her. Pam, if you don't mind joining me on set.
Randy, good to see you.
Welcome, Pam. This is Pam McManus. Pam is our president and CEO. Pam, I wonder if you could share with us, what is it about what Peak Vista does that is so important to the communities that we serve?
You know, one of the things I was thinking about, Randy, was truly the Breakfast of Champions and what incredible athletes we've had speak about Peak Vista. And I have to tell you, when people ask me, who is your favorite? I don't know. They're just all so amazing. But there are several of them that just touched my heart when they shared their story. And they shared their story about the difference that health made as they pursued their goals. And I think that's it for every individual in our community. It's our health that allows us to move forward, to work towards our goals, to work towards our family. And so I think for me, Peak Vista is that. We're supporting the community's health through primary medical, primary dental, and integrated behavior health services. And that's exciting to me.
It is exciting. It's such a vital service, and there are so many people who depend on us for their care. Pam, who is it exactly that can access care at one of our health centers?
So anyone can, truly anyone can. We're about taking down access barriers. So oftentimes we find patients that come here have access barriers. And for some, that means it may be language, and they're better served under a different language. For some, it's geographic. We're the only provider in that area. And so allowing them to seek healthcare in their community instead of travel to different communities, what an incredible privilege that is. For some of our patients, for many of our patients, it's about financial access barriers. And you know, it was Jackie Joyner-Kersee that was speaking from the podium, and she was talking about the impact of health. And what she shared was she lost her mother very early. She grew up in East St. Louis, and I will never forget her words that maybe if my mom had a place like Peak Vista, she wouldn't have died. And I want to be there for everyone's mom. I want to be there for their children. We want to be there for the entire community, and we don't want any access barriers for anyone.
I remember well the year that Jackie was with us, and what a powerful speech she did give. And I think connecting it to the needs in her own family is the kind of thing we see all the time. We see family after family that's really impacted by our work. And really focusing and being strategic about overcoming these access barriers is something that we do all the time. And we do it so well, it's amazing. And this has been a difficult year for everyone watching. It's been a difficult year for everyone in the world, literally. Can you describe some of the challenges that we've seen here at Peak Vista in the face of this COVID pandemic?
Well, how about if I talk about some of the changes versus the challenges? Because one of the things that I'm proud about our staff is that challenges turn into opportunities. So some of the things that we've done based on the challenges of our community, we implemented telehealth right away so that people had alternative ways of connecting with their healthcare provider. And another thing we did was COVID testing, establish that service for any of our patients or anyone in the community. A couple other things that we did specifically have to do around the screening and what we've implemented in our health centers to meet all of the requirements and so forth. But I'll tell you, that didn't change. It's still the same great care. It's still given in a very respectful, healing aura. It's always watched out for contagious diseases and so forth. And so those are things we haven't changed.
It has been remarkable to be a part of this organization during these months and see how we have been so innovative and so responsive to the needs of our patients, and how we've really focused on making sure the community continues to get the care that they so desperately need. So let's talk about Breakfast of Champions. What are some of the changes we're going to see this year as opposed to not just last year, but the previous 16 years?
So there's a lot of changes. One, out of being respectful, rather than gathering 900 people in the same room to celebrate and hear a great speaker, what we are going to hear instead is an entire month on Facebook with different information. I love the part that the employees are getting out messages already about what we do on a daily basis, because that's what it's about, is our patients on a daily basis. We're going to hear from our sponsors, which an incredible shout out to our sponsors. They sponsored this year, even though there isn't really an event. And I believe in talking with them, they did it because they recognize the need, they recognize the importance, and they just have incredible hearts for their community. So I can't be more proud of the sponsors this year that just sponsored for the goodness. Other changes that we're going to see, we don't have one individual speaker. We have several of our past athletes sharing some of their mission story with us. And we have an opportunity to just make this a month-long celebration instead of a one-day event.
So we will get to hear from some of our past Olympic champions. So they'll come back and speak to us about the importance of our mission again.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. That's great. Pam, thank you so much for your time today with us. I so appreciate it. And I hope that the rest of your day goes well. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
My next guest is Dr. Jonah Lynn. Dr. Lynn, I want to welcome you to our set here, our amazing Facebook Live set. By the way, don't forget that if at any point you have questions or comments that you want to present to us via Facebook, please feel free to do those. So again, I'm joined by Dr. Lynn. Dr. Lynn, tell us a little bit about your role here at Peak Vista.
Sure. Well, Randy, thank you for having me on with you guys today. I serve as the medical director for our convenient care center. And so I help to manage our provider team and to oversee patient care at our center.
So, Dr. Lynn, I know that your center in particular took the lead in providing drive-through testing for people in our community. Can you describe that experience for us a little bit?
Sure. I think that's a great example of Peak Vista being innovative and adapting to the needs of our patients. We set up this outdoor testing site where patients could come drive up in their vehicle and have a COVID test administered from the comfort and safety of their own vehicle. And this was really convenient for our patients and allowed them to come in, be tested, and kind of get on their way. And our provider team would then follow up with a phone visit once their test result was back to review the result and provide recommendations on care isolation, quarantining of close contacts. So in a very personable way, we were able to help a lot of folks out.
Now, we literally cared for hundreds of people as they came through that drive-through site. We were able to test them. So tell us a little bit. I know that working on this campus, when I walk outside, I no longer see that line of dozens of cars moving through. So what have we done now that we're no longer doing drive-through testing? How are we making testing available to our patients?
Sure. So now we have multiple options at Peak Vista. Due to the colder weather, we've had to move our operation inside. And so instead of a drive-through, we now have a walk-through, and it essentially functions virtually the same way. It's open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And you don't even have to be a Peak Vista patient to utilize it. We can register and test any patient that's 5 years and older that has symptoms. Our patients can also visit the Convenient Care Center during our walk-in hours, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 5 p.m., where they can be seen by a provider, have a COVID test if needed, and then be contacted with the result once it's back. In addition, our patients can always call and schedule an appointment when it's most convenient for them, whether that be in person with us or even a virtual visit with their regular provider.
So we do have walk-in hours at the Convenient Care Center Monday through Friday from 1 to 5 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell us just a little bit more, if you don't mind, about some of the services that we offer through our Convenient Care Center here at the Academy campus.
Sure. So our main goal is to provide care when it's most convenient for our patients. If you have an acute illness or a minor injury, or you just need to be seen before you're able to be scheduled with your regular primary care provider, we're here to meet that need. Whether it's a same-day appointment, a walk-in visit, or just to come through for a walk-through COVID test.
Well, the Convenient Care Center is one of the great services that we offer. And Dr. Lynn, I just want to say thank you to you and your provider staff for the amazing work you do to make sure that all of the people in our community have access to care when they need it. We so appreciate your work.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Thank you for being here with us today. I know that I can only imagine what a doctor's day is like each and every day. So I know that you need to get back to seeing patients. So thanks so much for spending some time with us today. I appreciate it. Take care. My next guest could actually not be with us today, so we were very lucky to be able to catch up with her last week. So her information that she's going to provide is really focused on behavioral health care, which is part of our integrated healthcare model. And behavioral health care is probably more important now than it ever has been. So I'm going to introduce you in just a minute to Dr. Sherry Sharp, and so we'll see her via video. Hello, everyone. I am very excited for you to meet one of our wonderful providers here at Peak Vista. I want to introduce you to Dr. Sherry Sharp. She is our Vice President of Behavioral Health. Dr. Sharp, tell us just a little bit about what your role is here at Peak Vista.
So I support our behavioral health program, both the integrated primary care behavioral health services, as well as our outpatient counseling services.
I would think that in the field of behavioral health, you probably have seen a lot of challenges that have arisen over the last several months. Is that true?
It's definitely true. Our community is struggling. It's a time where there's a lot of change, a lot of uncertainty, and there's about a 40% prevalence of mental health disorders in our community. That's about a 3 to 4 times increase from last year at this same time.
Can you describe for us just a little bit what these behavioral health challenges look like? Like, could you name for us some of the struggles that people are enduring during this time?
There's a lot of fear and anxiety, which is not unfounded because there's a lot of change in people's lives. They don't know what's coming next, and it's for a prolonged period of time. So our kids are experiencing changes in school, in their academic settings. So they're really struggling to be able to succeed there, as well as socially. being isolated. Same with a lot of our elderly population. They are alone and not having the same interactions and supports that they might have had before. So there's an increase in depression. We're seeing about a 10% rate of suicidal ideation in our population as well. So there's a lot that we're contending with.
I know I'm definitely more stressed than normal.
Sure.
Can you tell us some of the effects of being stressed and how we see that in some of our behaviors or in some of our thinking?
Over time, with prolonged stress, we start to get more irritable, more distracted. It's harder to focus and concentrate on work or school, even watching Netflix sometimes, right? We are seeing more just sadness and withdrawal, people not wanting to get out and do. Not that we can do a lot right now anyway.
Tell us a little bit about the care that Peak Vista provides in this area.
Peak Vista is doing a lot. We're already providing integrated behavioral health services in all of our family health clinics and our specialty clinics. But our other answer to this need was to open the Enrichment and Counseling Center in July. And so there we're providing both counseling services for children, adults, families, couples, as well as psychiatry services for medication management.
What is the location of our Enrichment and Counseling Center?
It is at our Academy location in Suite 100, so on the first floor. Come on, we're happy to see you.
Okay, great. Dr. Sharp, is there anything that you'd like to add before we close?
I have just been really proud of Peak Vista through all of this for the efforts that we've made to support our community. There was a real need recognized by Pam McManus, our CEO, as well as our board of directors, to really step up and say, we need to help our community. And here we are.
Well, we're so appreciative of your time. I know you're a very busy person. You've got a lot to do and a lot of people to care for. So we're going to let you go, and we'll be right back with you in just a few moments. It was great to spend that time last week with Dr. Sharp. And I do want to just recognize myself for a minute for how amazing I was with that interview. Guys, don't forget that you can ask us questions or provide comments through our Facebook feed at any point while we're doing this program. And I believe we've had a couple of questions come in. Am I right, Zoe?
Yes, you are.
So I feel like I am on some sort of amazing telethon program or something right now. This is just the coolest thing I've probably ever done. So I want to thank our staff, by the way, for helping me out and being so great to provide these questions. So I think you'll find these are pretty important questions. So if you're wanting to be tested for COVID-19, here's the big question everybody has. Do you need to be showing symptoms in order to access a test? And the answer is yes. You are required to be what we call symptomatic or showing symptoms in order to be eligible for testing here at Peak Vista. All right, our second question is, if I am tested, how do I know when I can stop isolating and go back to work? Our wonderful staff will be in communication with you after you've been tested. If you are positive, we will provide you with a letter, and that letter will clear you for when you can discontinue isolation. So that information will be very clear for you and for your employer. So here's the last question that we're going to answer live. Will you do a normal Breakfast of Champions again? It is our deepest hope that this time next year we will be back in action with our normal Breakfast of Champions event with another brand new Olympic champion to debut and serve as our keynote speaker. I believe it was Mary Lou Retton that actually in 2005 was our very first keynote speaker. And I remember almost all of them very well. Thank you, Zoe, for providing these questions. Please be sure that you continue to ask these questions. The answers will appear in the comment feed on your Facebook Live, and this event will continue on. So just be sure that you stay tuned to our Facebook page. And you'll see more messages from staff, you'll see more messages from patients, and you'll see more messages from some of the athletes who've served as our hosts for Breakfast of Champions over the years. And that's very exciting. Many of you may not have been around for some of these athletes. These people have long been our heroes, and it's really fun to hear them speak. It's really fun to hear them talk about the importance of our mission. I have my own favorites through the years, and I'm sure you do too. Don't forget that you want to go to peakvista.org and you want to click on our homepage in the Breakfast of Champions button in order to donate and help us continue to support and care for the patients in our communities. Well, this has been fun. It went by awfully quick. I really appreciate you guys joining us. You know me, I can stay on here for hours and do this, but I'm going to let you guys go. Again, we're so appreciative of all the support that you've given us through the years. We hope that you'll continue to do that. And it's been our pleasure to provide care to all of the communities that we've been involved in for so long. Take good care, stay safe, and be well.